Welcome to Sacred Highlands, a podcast where we explore ancient wisdom of spiritual healing, energy work, and the mystical landscapes of the Scottish Highlands. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Sacred Highlands. I'm Justina.
And I'm Emilia. Today we're honored to speak with Lisa McDonald from Havenhousehealing, a sanctuary in Caithness offering retreats, intuitive art, well-being coaching and Kundalini energy healing, ever since her own awakening in 2020.
In this episode, we'll explore the power of Kundalini energy, creative therapy, ancestral journeying, and how Lisa's holistic approach ignites transformation.
Lisa, thank you for being here with us. It's an absolutely great pleasure to have you with us. Could I ask you, your Kundalini awakened in 2020. Could you tell us how that experience unfolded, what it changed in your life, and what it meant for you, please?
I can. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for coming up to Caithness and spending time with me. So it's lovely to be with you. So the Kundalini story begins in February of 2020. I had been on a healing journey for, I would say, almost a decade since I had arrived in Caithness. So I came up in 2011. Suddenly I had all this space around me. I was painting in my studio. But when you create space, it means that the body actually wants to bring up things for you to encounter, for you to experience. So I would say I went on to a bit of a healing journey because the things that came up in me were endometriosis, IBS, and Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid issue. So I had the physical ailments, and my body literally just started breaking down. But I also then was encountering episodes of grief because with the endometriosis, I was not able to conceive a child. Mm-hmm. So there was a huge period of time in which I felt very isolated on my own journey, having to come inwards. So luckily I was an artist at the time. I was painting and just had all this time to just do what I needed to do, face what I needed to face. And so it got to the back end of the 2000s and teens, and then turning into 2020, which was lockdown. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I still wasn't through my journey, but I felt like I'd done a lot. So I'd done a lot of detoxing, changing my diet, changing the things that you put on your skin, cleaning products and stuff. So all the metals were out of my body. But I was still having episodes of grief and, what is my life? What am I doing? So I contacted a friend who's a shamanic healer. Just said, I'm really struggling on this particular day. It was 29th of February, 2020. She said, she wasn't physically with me, but she said, we call it a hold space. I'm just going to be here with you energetically. She sent me just a really simple meditative track, like some music to listen to. So I had an empty house. I lay down on my living room, played the track. Within, I would say, 2 minutes, I had this most amazing amount of energy shoot up from my coccyx, travel up my spine, and it was like I was giving birth out of my head. And I was like, my spine was arching, I started quivering, shaking, I felt like I'd been possessed, like there was something coming into my body. Mm-hmm. Had no idea what was going on. I call her, and she was ecstatic, she's delighted, she's like, oh, that's your Kundalini. Mm. I was like, my what? my Kunda what? And she just explained what it is. So I will explain now what it is. It's Kundalini is an energetic force. It's divine energy. It's pure consciousness without ego. Mm-hmm. And it resides in everybody, okay? So it's there and it can be tapped into. We can try and encourage it to move with meditation, with Kundalini yoga, or even when you are around an enlightened being, they can transfer it across to you. I believe, but I have all these different theories and opinions around this, and through my own experience, but we can go into that further. But with me and with other people, it can just literally erupt for no reason, and you have no idea why it comes. And it can come through childbirth, and it can come, it can just come like this, or trauma. Say if you land on your coccyx. My personal belief is that it will come to you when you're ready for it, whether you want it to come or not. Okay. Like with me, I had no idea that it was coming, and it just came. So it erupted that day, and it took a while to even get my head into this. What is this? What has just happened? Ever since that day, it's not gone down. So it's not like some people have a very gentle Kundalini awakening experience, and it's like, oh, I'm meditating and I feel a little buzzing, or I can feel my fingers tingling. Mine was a full-on freight train that came through my body that I had to then adjust to. So I spent the next 1.5 years in bed, because it was so strong in my body, and it wanted to purge a lot of. I thought I'd done healing work. This was nothing. It was purging scar tissue. The toxins were literally coming out of my skin. I had like crystals coming out of my skin where I'd like had the metals and the oxalates that were all clogging out my system. And it was, the first 1.5 years was debilitating. It was, so this is why I'm like, be so careful what you wish for with Kundalini. And then it also unlocked within me the gifts that I now bring into my healing, which is that I feel energy very profoundly, more than I've ever felt before, especially when I tune in. So it's almost like I have to have a radio frequency, and I'm dialing into that, right now I'm channeling energy. But not only that I feel energy, but it's also giving me the gifts of knowing how to unblock it within people and animals and land and situations, and it's like a divine wisdom that's come down. And so we're 5 and a bit years in, and me and Kundalini are still coming to terms with each other of how to work with each other.
Is it safe to say that it was the start of your healing?
Yeah.
The proper healing?
Was it the start? I don't know. Because I knew that I was cleansing and purging since I moved to Case Nurse, was on this healing journey. It was almost like what I had been doing was opening the channel for the Kundalini to come. Okay. So I'd done the cleansing and the foundation, and then it fully erupted. So I don't know if it was the start, but it was definitely almost like this is inevitable, because it's just going to happen. And then ever since then my life has changed. So since that date, up to that date, I was painting as an artist full-time, selling my paintings in galleries, and I was quite happy being an artist in my studio. But what it brought to light was that clearly I have a gift with helping others. And I had been doing it a little bit, like coaching people. We were just speaking about how creativity and how it's a tool to help people with their well-being. So I had been doing that prior, but after Kundalini, it was like I have so much more that I need to tell people and teach people, and it's all to do with this energy now that comes through naturally in people, but then how to get onto your aligned path that's for you. The cleansing, the healing that led up to that process is now what I give to others. And also, I'm teaching others how to be on a healing journey, but then an expansive journey too. We do all the cleansing and purging, and then we get to the point when we ask the question like, what now? And then we start expanding into our gifts and our fullness and how we can give back to others. So that's what's changed. That's how the Kundalini has changed my life and my path.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Even with what you said about cleansing, the crystals coming out of your skin, it's like we don't know what we have inside.
Oh my goodness. No, I mean I could go into detail, but it was something within me that was clogging my system. I was riddled with heavy metals, and then I was eating high oxalate foods. I don't. It's maybe someone may need to hear this. High oxalate foods are like, they're actually plants, right? So, but they're oxalates like plant toxins. So the foods that are high in oxalates like dark chocolate, spinach, potatoes, rhubarb, beetroot. But I, at the time, was drinking loads of cacao. thinking this is going to cleanse me, it's going to cleanse me, but because I was so riddled with metals, the oxalates bind with the metals and cause these crystals. They're called like oxalate crystals that come. So I was so like choked with these crystals that they'd gone in my leaky gut, caused like gut issues into my thyroid. When I found, I had to do my own research. I never went to a doctor though. I did my own research and reduced you can't just cut out oxalates because they call it oxalate dumping and then you get massive, but I reduced them. And then with the Kundalini, it was just this, everything just wanted to leave my body. And it came through my skin, through my eyes, out my bowels, like my body was dumping loads of stuff.
Wow, thank you.
Which isn't always pleasant.
No, but afterwards, I suppose you feel much better. And
well, now 5 and a bit years on, I'm like light as a feather.
Yes. You've got rid of the IBS and other.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Me and my husband the whole time are like, oh, do you remember that time I couldn't eat this and this and this and this? And now it's like, yeah, we just celebrate the whole time,
Oh, super, thank you.
Still with us? Wonderful. Just a gentle reminder, English isn't our first language, and now and then you might notice a few slips or imperfections in our conversation. If you're someone who appreciates authenticity over perfection, you're in the right place. Thank you for your patience and enjoy the rest of the episode. So, you said about your experience with Kundalini energy, and you said where it's located. But is it the same experience everyone can have, or like they have different experience? So like your experience was coming through the whole body, but what about like if someone else experiences it?
It will be different in every single body. So there's some people that I've spoke to who are like, oh, I think I might have a little bit of like the Kundalini awakening, and it would be like when they're meditating and they'll feel some warmth around maybe their root chakra, around the bottom of their spine. Others now, I believe that Kundalini awakenings are going to become more common because we're on this massive collective awakening, and that it's part of our almost journey as humans is to reawaken this like latent energy. So the more people I'm speaking to, particularly those who are on a healing journey who are doing the work, they tell me like, oh, and I was meditating, or you had hands on me, Lisa, and then I felt the energy, it was up in my face, it was what else have I heard? Like it was in my tummy. There was like so much like charge and electricity. The other one is like, I'll put hands on their feet and then they'll be like, but the pain was up in my shoulder and I felt it coming right up my spine and it was looping round and it was coming out my finger. So these are all stories that I've heard about. And you could say, is it just energy? It is, right? So Kundalini is energy. So do we need to even label it, or just say this is energy that happens when sometimes I'm meditating, sometimes people like Reiki healers or you've got hands on me. It's just energy moving in the body. So what I believe is like what I do when I'm putting hands on people is I'm helping to clear. So that's why I'm tuning in. I'm helping to clear the stagnation, the blockage. Once I clear it, that's when they feel the tingling or the electricity, because I've cleared that channel for them, and then it begins to flow. And it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't there before, and suddenly it unblocks. So it can be anywhere in the body, but also then the mind as well becomes involved. Suddenly you can become more expansive in the mind, and we begin to see colours and shapes and symbols and all these different things that happen when we clear the channels. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is about the Heaven House healing and the earth. And I wanted to ask you, how did it come into being, the earth and the Heaven House healing? Why the name is, what it is, and where the idea came from? Please, if you could explain a bit more.
Yeah, so I love that story. So I always knew I was going to end up in Scotland. It was in my bones. So I'm from Sussex originally, but had this huge connection with Scotland since I was a teenager. I ended up in Caithness, which is here in the far northeast part of Scotland, for a job opportunity at the time. But as soon as I came here, knew that this was my land, like such a home connection, you know, this is where I'm meant to be. And then, so I managed to settle in a little rented house in town with me and my doggy that I'd come up with at the time. And then about 15 months after being in Wick, I met my husband. He wasn't my husband at the time, but yeah, he introduced himself, was like, hi. And we were out for a walk one day when we just, I think it was before we were getting married, around Wick, and we looked across the bay, and he said, "Do you like that house?" I said, "Oh, it's beautiful." I was like, "That would be my dream house," because it's a white, it's like 200-year-old white house that on the edge of the cliffs, and there's a sea, and there's no one, there's like loads of land around it. And he said, "I think I'll buy it."
Oh my God, that's
like,
from a dream.
Yeah, so
a princess and a prince.
well, if you want to, you can buy it. So that was it. Literally, that was it. We moved in April 2013, and we married in May 2013, and that's been our home ever since. It was called Haven House, and it's on a bay called Broadhaven, which is the name of so that's why it's called Haven House. And that's where I was doing, so that was when I believe that my healing journey really started, was in that house, because it just, like I said, created so much space and opportunity for me to just do what I needed to do. But then I've had such a strong connection with that house, such a strong experience in the house, that I was like, the vision came along with the Kundalini, then everything opened, and it was, I now need to create space for others to come and experience serenity, peace, a haven. So then we, crazy how you get these ideas and stuff, but it was like, okay, let's try and put something in the garden that could become, you know, the sanctuary. The yurt of all things was like, yeah, that would work, because it's on a cliffs and it's really windy, like it's not going to blow away. I'm saying sarcastically, because it's like, what the hell? Let's put a tent on the cliffs in the far north of Scotland. But we did, and that was 2 years ago, and it's literally it's still there, thankfully, and we've survived like the strongest storms that Scotland's ever seen, particularly the one even a couple of weeks ago. And it's just, yeah, it's paid dividends for me to have faith in that vision of like, right, let's do this. And it has changed my business, if we like to call it business, but it's like, because now it is very clear to me and to God, to the universe, that this is me, and I am a healer. I know some people don't like that word, but it's like, I help people to become whole. I help them with their healing journey. So it's a space where people can come for healing, but also it's not just that, it's a community space, right? So that's how we're sitting in a room just now where I've held a retreat down here in the parts of Caithness, in this old house where I'm literally at the end of a retreat. So thank you for coming and experiencing that with me. But so it means now that I not only, you know, I'm doing that isolated work one-on-one, but also I love bringing people together in community and birthing the new way of being, which is sitting in circles, sharing, and just growing together, right? So there's only so much we can do by ourselves, but the year encourages community and connection. I mean, there's so many sessions that I've run in that year. I don't want to have a favourite, but one I'm thinking about is the mother and baby sessions, where tiny little babies would come in and experience sound baths, and the mamas would have a lie down with blankets, and then the babies began to grow and got into toddlers, and they're all now part of my circle, you know, like I have these little ones that are around that I love spending time with, and the mums are still there, and that's just one session. There's been so many sessions, full moon sanctuaries, ladies half-day retreats, and so it's become a space. It's not my business, it's just this wonderful space where great things happen.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you offer one-to-one sessions using Kundalini energy, tuning forks and bodywork. What does a typical session look like?
Yeah. Well, I'm more of a feeler.
Or
so how does it feel?
Like?
So you'll come in the yurt, and already it's like, this beautiful warm space full of rugs and cushions. But this is when I'm doing them in the yurt. Know that I am actually offering them monthly down in Inverness, so I'm going to be in North Keswick offering these sessions as well. So you lie down on the healing couch, and then I play really calming music. I use the vibrations, solfeggio and all the different frequencies. So we're already asking the brain to settle and to relax. The blanket, you get a blanket draped over you. You can sometimes have an eye mask, but that's your choice. And then you are literally just transported, because what I do is all the work. You literally just do nothing. So I place hands on the body, which, it's similar to Reiki but different in that my energy healing that I bring is I'm working on the body, in the body, and I generally start the feet, and as soon as I place hands on the body I can then open everything. The whole information comes through. I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm in. And then I can feel just gentle shaking of the body where the blockages are. And then I'll begin to move up the body as guided, and then it's like literally a tapping, little shake, and just to release. And I'll stay in a certain body part, maybe the shin or the thigh, until I'm guided to move. And I'll know it's released. I can feel it releasing, and it will go, and then I'll go up to somewhere else. And then the tuning forks come in. Have you seen the tuning forks? So you get one that's weighted. So the weighted ones you put on the body. So if I'm like, oh, there's a real blockage there, okay, and I can get the energy flowing. And then the unweighted ones are when I'm in the aura. So not just the body, it's the aura as well. And I'm like, oh, there's something here. And then sometimes I can clap my hands, but other times I need a little bit of extra assistance. So I'll get a tuning fork again, which is intuitively guided which frequency I'm using to clear what's in the body. And then at the end, I use a crystal pyramid. So sometimes and that's got all the frequencies that come through, and it's, as I'm guided, how close to hold it to the body, do I need it further away? So with the aura work, it's like the information I'm given is that the further away from the body, the further away the trauma was, and the closer to the body is where the trauma was more recent. So that's where the pyramid helps to just cleanse that as well. So yeah, and then at the end of the session, you'll get feedback from me as to what I found, and then I'll ask you, of course, what your experience was. But also what comes through is like guidance as to how to continue your healing journey going forward. So sometimes it'd be information like for instance, I put hands on one girl, and it was oh goodness, she had like this pain in her side that I was picking up. It was just a blockage and just so much density. But what came through that was a belief where literally she'd been eating herself up with her own thoughts of like she hated herself. So that I had to feed back to her as like, if you continue with these thoughts, you're going to get sick, because and she like burst into tears. She's like, oh my God, she said, I so needed to hear that. She said, I have literally no self-esteem and I hate myself. And I'm like, okay, well, that the body's telling you that. And so she's one of the ones that came back from a few sessions, and her whole life now is transformed. Like she's just on a completely different path than when she first came to me. So so you never know what's going to happen. Don't know. Everybody is different. Literally everybody you put hands on is different. Everybody's got different past experiences. Everybody holds trauma differently in different places. And there's books out there that are like, oh, if you go into the shoulder, it's a certain feeling. Or I used to read those books, but now I'm like, I think everybody is telling me something different. I have to really tune into that body and not trust the general thing, because and there is generalizations, like the heart generally does hold grief, but then you might find grief in the shoulder as well. So you've really just got to tune in.
I think we
judging and like making the point quite quickly, and I think that's the ego as well. And I think when you let it go and just listen to your intuition, that's when like tuning in to that's when you get the guide. And
absolutely, you can't read a manual.
Exactly,
you can't read a book in how to heal people, because everyone is different.
Yes, absolutely. I would like to ask you about creative and inner child therapy, because I know you combine creative therapy, intuitive art, and inner child work. How do these practices heal alongside energy clearing?
Yeah, like I bring so much into my sessions, into my retreats, into everything. So it's everything that I've experienced myself. So I would not give someone something that I haven't used or experienced. So creative therapy, you can look at it two ways. Like we were speaking about earlier, how just painting in itself can be therapeutic because you're switching off the mind, you're in the flow, and you're in a meditative state without even trying. So that's one element of creative therapy. But then you can go deeper and you can ask yourself questions and see what comes out in response creatively. So, and that's where you can actually combine it with inner child work. So, okay, let's say, for example, draw your mother as a tree. What does your mother look like if she were a tree? And then draw your father as a tree. And that in itself is such a potent, okay, so this tree over here is flourishing and looks really pretty and lovely. This one looks really distant. It's not as close as the other one. And it's spindly and it's hard. Let's talk about that, right? So that's both of the elements combined. So important, because as much as we can clear the body, heal the trauma with the energy healing, there's work that you can do yourself to clear limiting beliefs, change patterns, behavioural patterns that you are around your parents, how your parents, how your childhood had an effect on you to bring about the trauma in the first instance. To have that awareness then is enabling you to then move forwards, like more confident in, and with boundaries, we use that B word, but to have boundaries around anyone, it may not just be your parents, but anyone in particular that has not been good for your health, is how to set the boundaries. And that can all come about within creative therapy. We can explore it by drawing things, by examining what's in the psyche, the mind, the patterns, the beliefs. And then with the inner child work, you don't have to draw it. You can go and we can meditate on it. So we can. I take people on journeys, where we go into deep meditative states, and we can take the child that perhaps was wounded, and we can then bring them away from that situation, and we can actually transform the energy from that wounded to one that is actually, I'm going to parent myself as a child now, and I'm going to take that child out of that situation. And so that's how the inner child works at the same time. So I just recommend everything. It's literally, not one thing is going to heal you, and we need to go on all angles, in all directions, and until we get to, and even then, you'll never get to the end of the healing journey. It's not like we'll ever get to that place. Oh, I'm done. Yeah. Like I'm still on a healing journey. It would be nice.
One session and I'm healed.
But all we do is just put one foot in front of the other, but also just like learn. Everything is learning, isn't it? So every experience we have, but that's what changes when you're on a healing journey. What changes is I'm not a victim anymore, because I could be sat here going, I didn't have children, I'm so miserable, and that could be me for the rest of my life in that mentality, that vibration. My mentality was, what can I learn and how can I grow through this and not be stuck in it? And that's what happens in the healing journey. And so every single situation, we all have them, the triggers, oh gosh, what's going on now, is an opportunity to grow and expand even further. So that's where I just bring everything in and encourage others to just adopt that growth mindset and not the victim mindset.
And if you know everything happens for a reason,
Absolutely.
the approach changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like so much easier to get it on and deal with it, and get better.
Yeah. What can I learn from this? Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So you also offer Qigong, mindfulness, sound baths, and nature connection. How do these interconnect in your holistic journey?
Again, it's the same way. It's just naturally what I do. So, people say to me, like, you hold space for a lot of others. What do you do to unwind? And literally, I'll just go and sit by a tree. like just take the stress and just let me be. And nature is so important to me, and it always has been. I think particularly when I came to Caithness, it was like I have access to all of this land around here, the forest, the beaches, and the sea. And again, it was just a huge part of my transformational process was when I was in the worst of my stuff, to just go and take myself to the beach and just breathe and just let everything go. And I think that's why waves started to come through in my artwork, in my paintings, because I was just allowing all of this healing energy of the sea to come through me. So then naturally that's where I bring it to others, is particularly holding retreats. Having just come out of this 3-night retreat here in Caithness, is we were outdoors and we were doing all of these activities outdoors. So we were doing Qigong. Qigong is ancient Chinese practice of moving energy through the body with breath work and meditation, but it's even more potent when you do Qigong outside, because you're connecting in with the elements. So we were like visualizing roots going through our feet, and then connecting up outwards, into the air, into the sea and stuff like that. So it's, again, for me, is so important to do these things to not, because you heal, but you want to maintain the energy and keep the flow. So Qigong is amazing for, particularly if you're suffering with anxiety. So it's one of the medicines that I would give to people, a recommendation for people that are struggling with the racing thoughts. So Qigong is so soothing and slowing, and it brings all of that energy that's whirling around the mind, and it just brings it back into the body, grounds it into earth. So if you can do nothing else, I would just say go out in nature, breathe, just be, and just bring a little bit of really gentle movement into your body, and even that will create space that then you'll be able to move forwards in your journey. But it has to start somewhere. Your journey has to start somewhere. So if your mind is whirling with thoughts and stuff like that, just find the technique that's going to work for you to create some space, and then you will know your next step. It's like you can't do everything in once, it's like, right, I'm just going to go and try every technique, and it's going to be overwhelming. So the first thing I would say is the nature-based ones: breathe, nature, and Qigong, and mindfulness. So mindfulness is where you are so mindful of what you're drinking. Even now, let's be really like, I'm really speaking and I'm really listening, and be present. We call it being present with people. I'm really being focused on you right now. What has caused the opposite of that, where everyone now is frantic and busy, is the phones, right? So we're on our phones the whole time. We've lost connection to other people, to ourselves. So the other thing I would recommend is, some time off your phone as much as possible. Be in nature, breathe, and slow down.
It's a big message to the youth nowadays.
That's
the most worrying, unfortunately. But
I know.
Hopefully we can do something with it.
Well, I was in schools. I was leading. This is good news. I was in some school in Wick, and I was working with 6 teenage girls with anxiety. But the fact that someone like me, who's a holistic healer, was allowed to go in and work with these, and so I was giving them Qigong, breathwork, meditation. It's education, isn't it? So we've just got to continue as much as we can. And education.
They know what they have
Something
there
is changing
on the screen. That's unfortunately such a shame. I mean, I suppose also parents, quite a few parents, I suppose, they don't know what to do, and they don't know the way you've just even spoken about the healing. And they also, traumatized by some events in their life, so then of course they carry it on.
I know exactly that. I know. It's when the parents have anxiety, and so the teens I was seeing would have been locked down. They would have been 7 or 8 during lockdown, and then imagine you've got parents at home who were anxious, and so that's all they know is a phone and anxious parents.
Yes.
We'll just keep doing what we're doing, and
exactly,
spreading the good news.
Exactly, yes. You run retreats like Rising Light and Goddess Days, and of course you've just finished the 3-day retreat in here. So what themes and transformations do this event bring?
I'm smiling because I've literally just received feedback forms from this retreat, and it just warms my heart so much. And we've just finished a circle and a space, and again, what you see come in the door is not what you see leaving the door. So these are people that have not experienced anything like sound baths or retreats or meditation. They come in anxious, like, I don't know what to expect, I don't know who's here. And I don't blame them. That's like, potentially 9 other people that they don't know who you're stuck with. 40
days.
It's like, I don't know if I would do that. But they're brave, and they know and they trust that this is the right thing to do. And I'm thinking of one girl in particular today, from when she came in, she didn't want to give eye contact. She was very in herself, and was shy. She didn't want to like, if I went towards her, she'd run away. Like, don't come near me. By the end, I get a massive hug, and her face has changed. She's like beaming, she's lit up, and the feedback form is like, you have changed my life. This is the most transformative experience I've ever had, and I now know this is the beginning of my journey. And I'm like, this is why I do what I do. I could just do like the one-on-one healing, but I know I have a gift with holding space with people in group settings as well, and that's just one example. There's been so many over these last couple of years, that it keeps me going. So special.
So who benefits most from these offerings? From individuals to couples or groups? What energetic readiness supports healing?
I think it's everyone. Is it everyone? It's going to be the people who are ready, right? So I've had clients come for one-on-one healing, but they were pushed. And they were pushed by their family, who are at their wits' end of like, please, can you help this person? And they needed it, but they weren't ready for it. And I never saw them again. And that's okay, that's okay for me, but it must be quite saddening for the family. So I always trust that the right people come at the right time. And those people are the ones that experience the most transformative experiences. It's almost like they're so ready for it, and the knowledge and the healing that I give them is like, it's their prime. Oh my God, I so needed that, and then everything. It's almost like everything opens for them in an instant. Like, oh my God, my life now. And so everybody, I feel like, particularly those on a, do we call it an awakening journey or a healing journey, who are becoming more and more aware of energy, of how energy affects the body, of limiting beliefs, of childhood patterns, of ancestral patterns, and have a hunger for it, and know that this is the direction that's going to take them. And then the people also that have probably come, and there was someone I'm thinking about who came to the end of her path with doctors and hospitals and medication, because like with me, like I got the diagnosis of, you've got endometriosis, and then I was left. It was like, there you go, and there you go. And I knew, I wanted to explore why I had endometriosis. I wasn't just going to accept it. I was like, okay, why? And that was my first question. And then, oh, okay, you mean maybe I have got heavy metals in my body and toxins, but then, oh, okay, you know, let's think about my childhood, what happened and what can I go back and explore. So it's people like that come to me are the ones that are open to it. I feel if like you're not open to it, you're not gonna understand anything that I'm saying, even in this podcast. So it's resonance. It's people that resonate with what I'm saying, are ready for it, will come to me. Yeah.
But I think there is more and more of them.
There you are. You're so right, and that's so exciting, isn't it? Like,
amazing.
Yeah, we are so in a collective awakening. Yeah.
I can see even, you know, from my friends, when I speak to them, because they've witnessed my journey so far, some of them, and they like, oh my God, it really works, and they more likely to listen to me now, and then I can see the changes in their lives. It's like, you know, a ripple that goes.
It is. It's a ripple effect.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And it's almost like a tipping point where there's going to be enough that I have done the work to then tip the rest. And it's very exciting. But it could take years yet. You know, it's almost like we're not to that point where most people have done the work and are awakened, but we're building to it.
Yes. And of course, the more people do it, the more we do it in the future.
Wider,
Yes,
it's amazing.
Getting bigger, yes. I can't wait actually to see it in like, 10 years time.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
Me
yes,
too.
yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about something about everyday practices for those people who are not attending, who haven't attended your sessions yet? Would you have any advice on Kundalini or any creative practices that they could bring into their daily life?
Yeah, like I've said, it's just create space, right? So you can't be busy and frantic and expect things to change. So the first thing is, okay, like how can I create more space? So one would be turn the phone off, meditate, you know, maybe not every day, but if it's 3 times a week, I've got a YouTube channel that people can listen to, but there's loads on YouTube that, you know, guided meditations and things like that. So meditation would be one. Breath work is amazing for slowing down the mind, coming into the body. My favorite breath work is just literal belly breathing of like, and it's the opposite of the gym. Like, you're not going to get a 6-pack, but you're going to completely you call it a Buddha belly, right? So that's one thing Kundalini did bring. Thank you. But just go with it. Just so completely relax all the stress and tension in your body. Focus on your breathing, but bring that breath downwards into the lower belly, right? And then that automatically is just going to calm everything down. Breathing you can do anywhere. So you can be in the car, in the supermarket, the queue, on the plane, and just, you know, just really connecting with that breath. And then nature is always going to be nature, of every day if you can. Just if you can't get out for like half an hour, just 5 minutes, go and put yourself. But this is, people say, right, I did my walk in nature, but they took their thoughts with them.
Or phone.
Or yes, exactly. Thoughts or phone or someone else, and then it's chat. So proper nature connection comes from being mindful in nature. So taking the phone away, like I said, just sitting by a tree, in a forest, at the beach, and with no intention, just to be. Literally, I'm just being right now. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Like when you first do this stuff, like it's going to be really difficult because the mind's so used to going, like, you know, so fast, filling up all the voids, and it may put people off at the beginning of like, I've heard that. Have you? So many times. I can't meditate. I'm just so bad at meditating. And it's like, well, you need them the most.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just keep persevering. If you can only do 5 minutes, then and keep going. You know, just something you can do every day. Breathe, meditate, be in nature.
I've noticed for those people who can't actually sit with themselves, music at the beginning, like headphones and music, even, you know, within the nature, it just takes their thoughts away because they get focused on the music and they start like calming down and being more present. So because I've had, especially one of my friends, She was like, no, I can't sit down, I can't meditate, I've got so many thoughts, I'm so anxious. Okay, put headphones on, put some meditation music. And actually I sent her one. She was like, my God, that was amazing. You know, like I lied down and I couldn't move for 20 minutes.
That's
like, wow.
Yeah.
It work.
And it maybe was it one of the like relaxing frequencies, like 432 or 417 or something.
Yes.
It changes the brain waves, and it really does.
Well, I heard some people say that they actually get scared by their thoughts, like when they when they
meditate. Wow.
Yeah, like there's so much.
Yeah.
And they think they're going crazy.
Gosh.
Because they never stop. Yes, they always like keep going. Yeah. So pretty much. I mean, I used to be like that. I have to say.
Me too.
Yeah, I have to always find something to do because I didn't feel like stopping.
Yeah.
But like didn't make me comfortable.
Yeah.
So like keeping myself occupied all the time. But now it's the opposite. I find the time because I know it's the right thing to do. Yeah. It's like, reschedule my day to just sit down and meditate.
It's so important. So important. Otherwise we do get broken, we get anxious and you just it just, and then even if it's not a mental thing, like it will just come into the body of like something will break. Eventually.
Not only even what is happening now in the world, because it's really, I think, challenging times, but also, like you said, the traumas after our ancestors. It's like so much to deal with already, and on top of that, the distractions, the phones, the news, everything. It's like too much to handle.
Yeah.
So your body will finally break. Unless you stay out of it. Somehow, yes.
Or find that space, you have to be so strict with yourself of like, this is a discipline that I need.
That's what we were talking about that. Just today in the car, that I'm so grateful to my granny because she was the strictest one, but actually I'm so disciplined because of her.
Yeah.
Now.
And it is like, so it's lovely. So it's almost like you create you're disciplined enough to create the space. Once you're in the space, you can let go. Do you know what I mean? Like that's when you can flow. You can't be disciplined, get in the space, and then still be disciplined. Right, I'm going to think this now, and I'm going to think that. But you need both. You need to say that's your feminine and your masculine. Use your masculine to create the space, and then let the feminine come in.
Okay, could you share a profound client story or your own moment of transformation that still inspires you?
Well, we've spoke about mine, and that's just every day is it blows my mind, and every day I get more feedback, and not that I need it, because part of my journey has been to release the ego and not need validation or external validation, but it comes in that I don't need it, but it comes in that people are like, you changed my life. And it still would bring tears to my eyes, because they're crying and they're like, I can't thank you enough. So let's think of one example. So there was someone that came to me who was alcohol dependent on medication for anxiety and depression, and had tried everything and was really, really low, as you can imagine. You can imagine how someone like that would be. And she came once and literally got off the couch. She was like, what the heck was that? And she's like, I was feeling everything. So she was feeling energy moving, but because she was so blocked that she wasn't expecting anything, I think she was like, I'll just give it a go because I've got nothing else to lose. And she's come for a few sessions, and I'm so excited because the last message I got was, I'm ready for expansion. She's done the healing, she's been, I don't know, 5-6 times, and now she's like, I'm ready to grow into my gifts, and can you help me so that I can find my gifts? Because she says, I know that I'm meant to help others. So she says, can you help me? And she just says, she tells everyone, she's like, my life has changed, and She stopped drinking. I think she might be coming off the meds, and she's like, her life is changing, and it's changing before my eyes, and within even 6 months, you know, it's like she's now, I'm ready to step into my role as a healer.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
And it's funny because I think we were speaking with Ian in our 4th episode, like people who are healers, practitioners, they usually hit the rock bottom to get up, rise and shine. Yes. As like everyone, I'm so excited, actually, absolutely, honestly ecstatic, and everything what you can say about us doing the podcast, because every life story is absolutely amazing, and what happens in somebody's life to bring them in here, to bring you in here and be who you are. Yes, it's like you've gone through so much, and what we hear other people as well, other healers, is like, honestly, like I said to Jessina one day, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I painted that. That was one of my, I think I was in a meditation or something, and the phoenix came through so powerfully that I had to create a painting of it. So it's now in my bedroom of like, the phoenix. And it's so true with everyone that now is stepping into their roles as healers, as guides, is we have to experience it's like the polarity, isn't it? We have to experience the shadow to then come and bring it into the light, to transmute it and bring it into the light. But we have to go into the shadow, because how can we bring others out of the shadow if we don't know how the shadow feels? So it's almost like when you do, and I was exactly the same, like you hit rock bottom and you think that's the end, but in fact it's the beginning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will say that's common story with people now that are stepping into their gifts as well. It's like, I thought it was my bottom. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, I have to say. And I thought it was the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm happy I actually experienced that, because now I can explore more and grow.
I say that too, because there was times when I was like, I don't know how I can live without being a mum, and now I have to have gone through that, because like I still got the heart of a mother, but how to channel it. So I can't go, no thank you, I don't want this heart, and I'm just gonna, this heart still pounds and beats for nurturing others. So how can I give that out and take that pain and transmute it? So now it's like I love people, I love being with people, and I love nurturing others, and it comes out, so it has to. Yeah.
So it's like kind of being a mom.
I am a mom,
giving your love to others.
Yeah.
Yes, to your children.
Exactly. So many little, I don't know what we call them, but little just souls that were lost, and now we're like, because of my loving energy, it's transforming them. And I'm not just, like, I've done human design and stuff like that, but apparently my chart is full of hearts and like divine love, and so it's just part of my makeup. And but having to experience the opposite, of that loss and grief, and to then and bring it to the light. So it's almost like you have to feel the worst of your pain to feel the best of it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so I'm trying to think of another example. So mine is definitely loving, but maybe feeling, when you're so isolated and cut down and cut off is your wound and your shadow, and then your light is that I now hold space for others and form connections with others or something. It's like you've got to take your polar opposite, and then match it with the light.
And it requires so much courage and so much, I think, braveness to go through it, because I think the easiest thing to do for a person like you is just to give up.
And I wanted to.
And you need to firstly face it, let it go, and then start being yourself and help others, because without it, carrying it in, you wouldn't be able to do it.
And I had to go through that journey of really feeling that pain, and how does this really feel to like, you know, to not have a child, and it's not one that you get over easily. It's not like it goes in a day. It goes like, and even now, am I over it? It's like I live with it, and I've channeled it, but there's still things that will trigger, you know, like not so much anymore, but used to be like new babies and friends having babies, and yeah, that was painful. But now I feel like the fact I can speak about it now is like, that's how much work has been done, you know. So yeah. Well done.
Right. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing your wisdom and light, and it was really nice to hear your story, and your work is just beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you're doing for everyone and for yourself.
Thank you.
So yeah, there's so much what you do, and I hope one day we can go more into details. I don't know about the Qigong or other stuff you do. That would be a pleasure.
And there's more coming. That's how like I'm not done yet, right? So I'm like the guidance comes through with me. So at the moment I'm studying theta healing, and that's now. It seems that the knowledge that comes through that teaching and coaching will come into my sessions too. It's just because it just taps into, you know, I'm working with energy and trauma in the body, but theta healing is about beliefs that we hold, and I feel the two would go hand in hand. That you know, as much as I'm clearing the trauma, I'm also now going to be clearing beliefs in the body that we're holding in patterns and grids and things like that. So there will be more.
We're quite limited, yes, with everything. It was like what we are born with already, you know, a religion, a name and stuff like that, and it's like put in a box. Okay, that's who you are, but actually no. Yes, and that's why we're so restricted. Yes.
Yeah.
So wow, amazing. Where can our listeners find you and learn more about Heaven House Healing offerings, please, if you could say?
Yeah, so it's havenhousehealing.com is the website, and then I am on Facebook at Haven House Arts, but you should be able to find me under Haven House Healing, and Instagram Haven House Healing. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
We'll probably put it in the description as well.
Okay, thank you.
Just for To our listeners, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow Sacred Highlands on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and connect with us on Instagram, Sacred Highlands.
And until the next time, stay grounded, stay vibrant, and remember, we are one.